Hey, it's Mike Monday here, and today I'm going to be talking about how to promote yourself online. Because there's a question that Mike Power asked on my page, which is what are the best ways or most effective way to get traffic to your website and get daily subscribers without going broke on Facebook ads? Now, if you want to ask me a question about absolutely anything to do with the creative process, about how to do stuff online, I've been doing this for about 6-7 years now, something like that. I lose count, but anyway. Or anything to do with the creative process, music production. It's probably best not to ask me questions about the latest gear because I don't know about that, because I'm 100% focused on coaching other music producers. But if you've got any questions at all about what's holding you back, please post them in the comments, because I'm going to do these Facebook Lives regularly, almost daily, until it seems that I've answered everybody's question, which might be never, mightn't it? But anyway, so today, what are the best ways or most effective way to get traffic to your website and get daily subscribers? So, doing stuff online, promoting anything online, marketing yourself online, building an audience online has changed hugely just in the last couple of years. In fact, just in the last 6 months, in fact, just in the last 3 months, it's changed an enormous amount. What with new features in the social platforms like Facebook Live, Instagram Live, the explosion of Snapchat. And you know, if you look at your online behaviour now, you'll probably notice it's very different from what it was a couple of years ago. So, to cut a very long story, very, very short, in today's online environment, unfortunately, in a sense, but fortunately in another, you want to stop thinking about what you're doing in terms of sending traffic to a website. Yes, you do want to be sending traffic to a website and getting subscribers, but if you're starting with no audience or a very small audience, the more important question is what happens before you send traffic to the website. You've got to build a community around your thing, around your music, around whatever it is you're doing. You've got to think about adding value to people's lives in a tribe, growing a tribe. So instead of thinking of it as promoting your stuff, you want to be thinking about building a community where you're creating value for that community so that you earn the right to promote your stuff to them. So there's a whole thing before the actual promoting. And this is where a lot of people go wrong. And don't get me wrong, this is difficult, it takes a long time, and you have to be patient and you have to be consistent. Something that, I'll be honest with you, I have not been on the socials, and it was one of my goals this year in 2017 to really make an effort and start to add as much value as I can in the places that people were congregating, like Facebook, which is why I'm doing this Facebook Live. But this is the way it is now. So if you want to promote your music, then start thinking about building that community now. It doesn't matter where you are on your musical journey, whether you're starting or whether you've already got a huge audience. It's about adding value to people, because there's so much stuff going on online that people are only going to stick with you if you do actually bring them value. So, how do you create a community? It probably seems like a scary thing to do for some people. It might feel like something that you don't want to do. I completely understand that. That's exactly how I felt. But it's actually not something scary when you realise what it is you're actually doing. And by the way, I believe that creating a community, creating a tribe is relevant for everybody now. It's kind of the way things are going. You know, even if you want to get jobs, if you don't want to make music your life, and you want to get a job, more and more employers are starting to look at your and if you've got your social kind of footprint, and if you've got a community and you're adding value to that community, you are going to seem like a much more valuable person than somebody who isn't. And it's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, that's just the way it is, and it's where everything is going. So anyway, so where do you start? Let's talk about where you start. Well, the best way of thinking about this is thinking about how you get to know one single person. A tribe, after all, is a group of individuals, and as the leader of your tribe, you will want to be taking the approach that you're engaging with one single person at a time, rather than speaking from a pulpit to a crowd. Hey everybody! And if you've noticed how I attempt to, anyway, interact with you, I always try to be talking to just one person, even though both you and I know I am actually talking to a number of people. So a very useful way of thinking about what you're doing online in general is that it is a proxy, it's an imitation for what happens offline. Of course, there are differences, like you can hide behind a username online, which causes, you know, the troll problems that we see. But if you follow the basic rules of human behaviour, when you're doing stuff online, then you can't really go wrong. So let's think about this in terms of building a community online. Because what you want to essentially do, you want your community to be a bunch of friends, a bunch of mates, all together, you know, sharing stuff and being in a community. So, how does that work? Well, I'm sorry I've had to use pictures because unfortunately the Facebook Live, when I write on my whiteboard, all the writing's backwards, so I'm having to be creative and draw pictures instead of words, which is interesting given that I am no artist. But anyway, so this, at this end, is not knowing somebody, okay? At that end, you don't know them, and at this end, they're your friend. They trust you, you trust them. So this is the way that you go, like we all go, from not knowing someone to trusting someone, and it has to follow these steps. There's no way around it. First, you've got to get their attention. Obviously, without their attention, they're not, you're not going to be their friend. They've got to notice you, first of all. Now, this is where most musicians and music producers stop. They think that all they need to do is get someone's attention and then it's fine. So an example of this would be putting a fancy website up and just doing posts like, here's my new track, I'm doing this gig, here's my new track, I'm doing this gig, etc., etc. So, and then they stop, expecting something to happen, something good to happen. But what happens with those people who you've got their attention is they just go on your website and they bounce off it immediately, never to be seen again, off onto, you know, cute pictures of cats on YouTube or whatever it might be. So that's just the first step. So you need to get someone's attention. Then the second step is they need to get to know you so that they recognise you. Oh yeah, I know. You know, so you're scrolling through a feed. Oh yeah, I know that person. I remember. Yeah, I remember. So you know them. Then, after a number of more interactions, because you've added value to their lives, you've given them something of value, you know, a number of times, they start to like you. And this happens not just online, but with friends as well. And then, eventually, once you've given enough value, once you've shown that you are somebody to be trusted, you can be a friend and be trusted. If you've done your job properly online and given enough value, then eventually they will trust you. So that is how you build a relationship with somebody in real life. So therefore, that is also how you build a relationship with somebody, even though you might never have met them in person, online. It's as simple as that. And obviously, in order to do this, you will have noticed that you need multiple touch points. So, you know, what I've just described about building a site, sending people to it once and then, or just expecting people to find it and them to do something. It just isn't going to work. I mean, think about your behaviour online. How often do you listen to a piece of music and it's so brain-meltingly amazing that you then go and find all of their stuff? Yes, it does happen occasionally, but only with the absolute, you know, works of genius. And even then, often you forget about the person and then you never see them again, the artist, you never see them again. So this is why focusing on creating that community, which is kind of a sidestep to your music, you know, it's not specifically all about your music, it's kind of, you're building value in other ways. is so important in today's online environment. Now, I know this probably sounds difficult or hard, but I'm not choosing this to be the way it is, but this is the way it is. A lot of the people who now have huge audiences actually got those audiences from before this was the case. So if you're starting from a very small audience base or no audience base, this is the way you've got to think about it. So how do you ensure that you have these multiple touch points with incredibly distracted people online? Well, this live has probably been going on long enough now, and unfortunately, as I've said already, because I'm doing this live on my phone, it puts writing backwards. So I've made a video for you going into detail about my system for building a tribe. Okay, it's called my Grow Your Tribe system, and it's in the post somewhere which this live is coming through. It's mikemonday.com/tribe. Nice and simple. Okay, and in that video I literally walk you through my whole system and how it works. As I said, the link should be in this post. I don't know whether Facebook actually makes the links into links, but it should be there if everything has worked. But if it's not, mikemonday.com/tribe. Also on that page you will notice that I'm reopening a half price offer on my full Grow Your Tribe program just for one day, because so many people were disappointed when they missed the launch offer I did a little while back. Plus, for the first 10 to sign up, and I'm doing this because I'm enjoying the interactions with people on my Facebook page, I'm throwing in a bonus for the first 10 to sign up of a one-to-one Skype session with me, 45 minutes. Now, these usually go for $500, and the reason I'm doing this is partly because I've really enjoyed interacting with people and I want to do more of it, but also I'm updating and improving my programs and also my free training. One of the best ways of creating better value for others is finding out what they need and what they want, which is why I'm asking you questions, and if you've got any questions for me, put them in the comments. But one of the even better ways is to actually talk to people direct and help you overcome your obstacles and challenges. So in other words, this is a win-win. You get a free coaching session and my help, and I get insight into what holds producers back, which I can then use to help other producers. Okay, so the video where I go through my Grow Your Tribe system is at the link in this post. You'll also be able to sign up for the half price Grow Your Tribe program, but even if you don't want to do that, please make sure you watch the training, because even if you don't want to do the full program, because you'll have noticed in all of my videos where I'm offering something, to buy, I put training first. I always try to give value first, so don't miss out on the training just because you don't want to join the program. It's like a kind of freemium model where I'm giving you value and then I'm saying, do you want something? Do you want to go further? Okay, so in this video, as I said, I'll walk through the whole system, so even if you don't do the program, where I help you build it step by step, you'll know what you have to do. So go to mikemonday.com/grow your tribe. Put any other questions you have, doesn't just have to be about growing a tribe, in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow.